Page 4. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam No Chanju Bado Dane Yazush Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Isho Sanje Joda Chanju Bado Dane Yazush Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Tanjo Bardo Dane Yapso Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashramana Yesvaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashramana Yesvaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashramana Yesvaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay. The four essentials. The first essential is the essential of identifying the object negation. So, negation, when you say negation, it simply means negate. Negate means your mind says it is not. When we say that my hand does not have a flower, my hand is empty of flower, it negates the presence of flower. How many agree with me? When I say there's no flower in my hand, you are negating the presence of flower, or you are negating the flower. Presents? Good. So object of negation, meaning what do you negate? That is known as object of negation. So if I say that this flower is not chocolate, what is the object of negation? Flower being a chocolate, this is object of negation. Okay, this flower is not permanent. What is the object of negation? Anyone? Raise hands. Okay, Sayana. Here.
Я тоже согласна, что, как ответил, цветок отрицается, цветок отличный от шоколада, не являющийся шоколадом.
Sayana replied to the previous statement that in the previous example, the object of negation was object being a chocolate. It's because probably my translation was a bit too slow.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, object being a chocolate, that's true. So my next question is, the flower is not permanent. What is object negation? Your name? Okay. Natalia. Permanence of the flower. How many agree with Natalia with hands? Very good. Permanence of flower. Or the flower being permanent. This is the same. Very good. Thank you. Okay. This flower is like a dream. Okay. This flower is like a dream. This flower is like a dream. What's the object negation? Okay. Thomas?
The objectivity of the flower.
Huh?
The objectivity of the flower.
Objective the flower. The flower is like a dream. I agree with you. I agree with Thomas. Very good. Anyone else? Okay. The flower is empty of objective reality. What's the object negation? The flower is empty of objective reality. What's the object negation? Momo? The flower is empty of objective reality. What is the object negation?
Deny to see things as object.
The flower to be objective. The flower to be objectively real is the object negation of the flower being empty of objective reality. How many agree with Momo? Everybody agrees. It must be correct. Thank you. Okay. So, when you say object negation of emptiness of flower, what's the object negation? Okay, we climbed the steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we reached this point. Emptiness of flower. What's the object negation? Raise hands. Emptiness of flower. What's the object negation? Raise hands. Okay, the Shaheen, yes. How many agree with Shaheen? Objective existence of the flower is the object negation of the emptiness of the flower. Raise hands. Very good. Okay. So when you speak about the same, if somebody would ask you, what's the object negation? Emptiness. Now I'm changing emptiness of flower to emptiness. What is the object negation of emptiness? Anyone? What's the object negation of emptiness? Raise hands. What's the object negation of emptiness?
Things exist objectively.
Intrinsic existence of the object. How many agree with the Venerable Children-in-law? Raise hands. Oh, everybody agrees. Okay, which means it must be correct. Thank you. Intrinsic existence, objective existence, they all mean the same. Very good. Okay, my next question. Thus far is more intellectual. What does it mean? What is object negation? Emptiness, intrinsic existence, objective existence. There are several synonyms. Objective existence, intrinsic existence, inherent existence, true existence, and many of them. Now my next question. Okay, before I ask the next question, let me reassure you, let me first double check. What is the object negation of emptiness? Quick. What is the object negation of emptiness? Quick, somebody. Okay, Devikaji.
True existence.
True existence, objective existence. How many agree with Devikaji and Venerable Children-in-law? You all agree. Now my next question. This is more, thus far is more intellectual. If you know what is the standard answer, you know that. My next question. What does it mean by objective existence? This is my next question. What does it mean by objective? Okay, I'm taking steps. Number one, I asked, what is the object negation of emptiness? You said, objective existence. Now my next question, what does it mean by objective existence? This is my next question. Okay, raise hands. What does it mean by objective existence? Raise hands. I want to see more hands coming up. I want to see more hands coming up. Okay. Okay, Peter.
Objective existence would
Okay, let us all listen. This is very important. If you don't identify object negation well, no matter what we do, you will not get emptiness. If you don't get emptiness, your stress, anxiety will continue to perpetuate. Okay, let's.
objective existence would mean that object exists on its own.
Objective existence means an object existing on its own. Okay, Hamale, you can present, people have different answers pointing to the same direction. What is meant by objective existence?
Geshe, an object existing independent of the mind.
Object existing independent of your mind. Okay, again, it's very good understanding. Anyone else? The same understanding you can have this understanding from different perspectives. Anyone? Okay, Tinshurila.
Существование объекта вне зависимости от причин и следствий.
It is existence of an object without being dependent on causes and effects.
An object that exists without being dependent on causes and conditions. Okay, there's a very good point raised. When I say good point raised, this means that we need to think more. Think more. My answer is not correct. I said correct, not correct. These were different. Correct and correct. This is very different. You're getting it? Correct. This will make you happy. Correct is correct. Okay. Okay. This we need to examine. Okay. One over there. The lead over there.
I would add that the object is not permanent.
Object. What's the question? What is the meaning of objective existence? So the answer should
So
be
it's permanent. It should
something
be
which is
permanent.
permanent. Object being permanent is the meaning of objective existence. Correct. Okay, correct. Okay, so here Chelsea.
Thank you, Geshe. Objective existence, I would say it exists independently of a subject.
An object existing independent of the subject. Politically correct, nobody can reject it. Right? It's not object. It exists, but the independent subject. This is object. Nobody can reject it. Correct. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, over there. Huh? Someone there? Okay, over there.
Я так-то поддержала ее. Но если добавить, то это то, что является не проекцией нашего ума.
So objective is existence. It's that kind of existence which is not a projection of our mind.
Okay, I said an object which is not a projection for mind, object which exists without the projection of the mind. Very good. Very good. Okay, Sayana. Okay, look, I am deliberately spend a lot of time on this because that while we listen to these thoughts, your mind is activated. Just see whether you agree, not agree. If you agree, well and good. If you don't agree, why you don't agree? Do you see any mistake in this? Okay, good. Sayana.
Объективное существование – это существование посредством своего собственного объективного способа существования, а не установленное силой ума.
So objective existence is an existence through its own objective mode of being and not posited in dependence on its appearance to the mind.
Or your objective existence is a thing which exists objectively, not in dependence on the object's appearance to the mind. Very good. So what is that like? Huh? My very good is what they're like? 0 to 10, what is like? Very good. It's like 60%. 6 out of 10. Right? Very good. Okay. Okay, Jimela.
In conventional, we see objective, but even in we can see subjectively objects. We can imagine object, but in conventional, the object itself, when we see in a conventional, the substance need to be orderly, like process, work. I don't know. So, in subjective or imagination, like we can substance are they do not need like any orderly form or something like seeds. Then like directly we can imagine object. But conventional, like without the orderly, then that's not the object.
So what does mean by objective existence?
Yeah, that's objective existence in conventional way.
Something which
orderly form substance need to be orderly process or work.
Say it again. Objective existence means, for example, let's say the flower.
Yeah.
Objective existence flower means what?
It exists objective because the substance, its atoms there, like the process.
Okay, the atoms
processes,
there.
Yeah.
Atoms there which make the flower. So therefore, this is mean of objective existence.
Yeah, and plus they have to orderly orderly.
They have the cause and effect orderliness.
Yeah, cause and effect. Yeah, orderly.
Okay, so the flower, does it exist objectively or not?
Yeah.
It exists objectively.
Flower. Empty of being objective, really.
Empty.
Yeah.
Empty of objective existence. But the flower exists by the atoms and there's cause and effect orderliness or not?
Yes.
Yes, so therefore it is subjective.
In conventional.
Or in conventionally, in conventional sense, there's objective existence. In the conventional sense, it's not empty. It's not empty of objective existence.
In conventional. Ultimate analyze like empty of being. Yeah.
Okay. So now, this brought us to two very important points. Let us say that first, let me give you one clear information. What does it mean by objective existence? If you understand it well, objective existence well, if you identify it well, you negate it, you negate object negation, you should realize emptiness. Let me repeat it. Object negation that you identify, object negation, the emptiness should be identified. What you identified, if it is the object of negation of emptiness, the moment you negate it, you should realize simultaneously, you should realize emptiness. Let me say this again. Object negation emptiness should be such, the negation which entails, negation which connotes the understanding of emptiness. You getting it? How many understood it? Let me repeat it. The moment if you identify object negation should be such that you negate it, simultaneously you should realize emptiness. How many got it? Okay. Now let us explore what the student said and what the lady over there said. What is the lady over there? Your name? Your name? Liliana. Okay. So let us explore what the first student said, that the objective existence means something which is independent of the cause and effect. Well, let's say independent of the cause. So let's say the flower. According to Madhyamaka school, those who realize emptiness should necessarily be Madhyamaka philosophers. If somebody realizes emptiness, the person must be following the Madhyamaka philosophy. You getting it? As such, if I asked Chittamatra, or if I ask Sautrantika the practitioner, if I ask them the flower, does it depend on the causes? What will they answer? What will they answer? The flower, does it depend on the causes? Not the Madhyamakas, not the Madhyamakas. If I ask them, does the flower depend on causes? What will they say? Yes. So is it independent of the causes? They say no. So they reject independence of the flower being independent from the cause. They reject it. They reject it, but they don't realize emptiness. To realize emptiness, you should be Madhyamaka philosopher. So they're still Sautrantika. Therefore, they realize, they reject it, they negate it, but they don't realize emptiness. Which means, what you've negated is not the object negation of emptiness. You understood it? Now let us again explore what Liliana said. Say, Liliana said, what's the object negation of the flower, emptiness of the flower? Flower being permanent. Flower being permanent. Again, I asked Sautrantika school, Chittamatra school, flower is permanent, what will they say? Hey, tell me. They will say, no, flower is impermanent. All the Buddhist schools, they know that. So they reject, they negate permanence. Negating if the permanence of the flower, if that is object negation, you negate it and simultaneously you should realize emptiness. So Chittamatra, they negate the flower to be permanent. Do they realize emptiness according to Madhyamaka? Not yet. So therefore, what you negate is not object negation of emptiness, because object negation of emptiness should be like what? You negate, let me repeat it. Object negation of emptiness should be the object, negation of which entails the understanding of emptiness, meaning that you negate it and simultaneously you should realize emptiness. If that doesn't happen, what you've negated is not the object negation of emptiness. How many understood it? Raise hands. Okay. Is there anybody who can paraphrase why or how permanence of the flower is not the object negation of emptiness? Raise hands. Raise hands. If I say, what's the meaning of objective existence of the flower? And somebody says, oh, the permanence of the flower is the flower being permanent. This is the meaning of objective existence of the flower. So, you identify the permanence of flower as the object negation of emptiness of the flower. And permanence of the flower, is it the object negation of emptiness of the flower? Yes, no. Okay, the Arman is saying no. How many of you are saying no? Raise your hands. Permanence of flower is not object negation of flower. Okay, is there anybody who likes to tell us why not? Why not? How permanence of flower is not the object negation of the flower? Anyone? Okay, the Samsala?
Geshe-la, once you negate the permanence of the flower, simultaneously you do not realize emptiness directly.
Wonderful, thank you. It is not the object negation. Permanence of flower is not the object negation. Okay, now I'm paraphrasing what Tenzin Samsala said. Permanence of flower is not object negation because when you negate it, simultaneously you don't realize the emptiness of the flower. Whereas the object negation of flower, emptiness of the flower should be what? Something that you negate it and simultaneously you understand emptiness of flower, but it doesn't happen. And how can you say that it doesn't happen? How can you say that negating the permanence of flower, simultaneously you do not realize emptiness? How not? Okay, Arman? Oh, what happened? Arman?
Work, my laptop, have to sit at the back.
Okay.
Because the Chittamatraka schools did not realize emptiness. But because the Chittamatraka schools did not realize emptiness.
So what?
So what is your question again? Sorry.
My question is, how do you know that rejecting the permanence of the flower, simultaneously the person does not realize emptiness?
Because the school did reject it, the Chittamatrika.
Which school? Chittamatra school?
And
Reject?
and it simultaneously did not realize it.
Wow, that's very good answer. Very good. 10-10. Right? What he said is that, my question is, okay, how many got my question? Oh, Rizan. How many got my question? Okay, Allah was a question. What was my question to Armin? Allah.
Почему постоянство цветка не может быть объектом отрицания?
The question is why the permanence of the flower is not the object of negation.
Okay, I think the question is slightly different. Question is that the permanence of the flower, when you negate it, Samsala said, when you negate the permanence of flower, simultaneously the person does not realize emptiness. My question is, how do you know that? This is my question. Okay, Tinzi Ishal, you want to give the answer?
Geshe, I think when you reject the permanence of the flower, you realize the impermanence of the flower, but you don't...
You only realize the impermanence of flower, you don't realize the emptiness of flower. Why not? How not? Okay, this is good answer. But this good answer, but must be complemented by what Arman said. Arman said that the Chittamatra, they fully reject the permanence of the flower, but they are not Madhyamakas. They don't realize emptiness. Why not? Because they are not Madhyamakas. According to Madhyamaka philosophy, the one who understands emptiness must be a Madhyamaka philosopher. So therefore, Chittamatras, they reject the permanence of flower, but they don't realize emptiness because they are not the Madhyamakas. Okay, this is good. Joshua. Question or answer?
Answer.
Okay.
So, I think that it's the wrong object of negation.
Okay, the permanence of flower is not the object of negation, emptiness. Why not?
According to Prasangika, the object of negation should, proper object of negation is when you realize emptiness. When you negate correctly, you realize emptiness simultaneously.
Okay, so how do you know that negating the permanence of flower doesn't mean understanding realizing emptiness? How not?
Because all the Buddhist schools all accept this impermanence.
Okay, all the Buddhist schools reject the permanence of the flower,
Yes.
but the other schools, they don't realize emptiness.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. So now we are doing pretty well. Now, it is so important if we don't identify the object negation well, we will never get emptiness. So to identify object negation well, we need to, first of all, we should make sure that we don't fall prey to the maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. Okay, let me repeat it. To make sure that you understand the object negation well, we make sure that we don't fall prey to the extreme of maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. If you fall in one of these problems, then you fail to identify object negation well. Let me say this again. You should avoid the two extremes. You should avoid the maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. Okay, what does it mean by maximalist redundancy, minimalist inadequacy? This question. This is very important. Okay, let's say first, maximalist redundancy, meaning that, okay, I'll give the meaning a little bit. First, let me give an example. Say, okay, there is a job position for the chief security of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Right? Okay, we all want to apply for that, right? Okay. So say that there's a person who applied for this job, who got the job, and the person got a message from somewhere that, oh, okay, today is what? Third. Today is third, fourth. Okay, fourth. And the message that this chief security guard, you decide whether chief security did a good job or bad job. Got a message that on fourth, fifth, sixth, for 3 days, there's going to be a terrorist visiting, encroaching to His Holiness's place. A terrorist coming. Okay. Then the chief security guard, what he did is that, okay, this information is very standard, very reliable information for 3 days. 4th, 5th, 6th of November of 2024, terrorists coming. So we should protect His Holiness. So what he said is that no one is allowed to visit His Holiness except for those people inside the palace. Otherwise, no one outside is allowed to visit. Okay. And then he succeeds in stopping everybody from outside to visit His Holiness. Okay. His job is to stop the terrorist, like emptiness means to stop objective existence. Emptiness means, to understand emptiness means negate, stop the objective existence. So security job is to stop the terrorist. Did he succeed in stopping the terrorist? Huh? Did he succeed in stopping the terrorist? Yes. Huh? Hey, louder. No. How many say no? Raise hands. He did not succeed in stopping the terrorists. Okay. How many say yes? He succeeded in stopping the terrorists. Yes. Since nobody is allowed to come, everybody stopped from entering into the campus of His Holiness Palace. So no terrorists. He successfully stopped the terrorists. But the Obama comes, right? Oh, once I remember His Holiness told me that we should convene a conference on the social, emotional, ethical learning, learning, right? I came here for that purpose. And the security chief said that, I said nobody is allowed. I said nobody is allowed. You're not allowed to come, right? So, not only you stopped the terrorists, you also stopped Obama. You stopped all the good people. Is it a good job or bad job? Huh? Hey. Chunzumla, tell me. Good job, bad job. Chunzum. Hey, Natalia. Good job, bad job.
Yes, I think he works well.
He did a good job. Okay, Obama, you don't like Obama. Okay, so the person stopped everybody. Good people, bad, everybody. So bad people stopped, good people also stopped. Is this good idea or bad idea? This is a very bad idea, because the purpose of His Holiness is to make sure that the world benefits. Even the benefit stops. You getting it? So therefore, you reject more than what is required to be rejected. You reject more. Maximalist redundancy. You reject more than what is required to be rejected. This is known as maximalist redundancy. This is, so, okay, let me give you one example. Say, if you say, the flower does not exist. Flower exists or not exist? Flower exists or not exist? If I say, flower does not exist, is it good or bad? Is correct or not correct? It's not correct. But when I say flower does not exist, objective flower is rejected or not rejected? Rejected, but I reject more. Not only objective existence, I also reject the flower. So therefore, this is what? Maximalist redundancy. If you identify more than what is to be rejected, this is one extreme. You did not identify the object negation well, right? And now let's say that say that the terrorist let's say that and then you say, okay, now this is not a good idea, right? To stop all the good people with this maximal redundancy. So you stop even the good activities of His Holiness, all the good activities happening to His Holiness, that also you stopped. Then you thought that, okay, then the next time that then you say that, stop all the men. You're going to stop all the men. The ladies are not terrorists. Right? Then what happens? Terrorists can be ladies also, not only men. You agree? Which means that you fail to stop what is required to be stopped. You fail to stop what is required to be stopped. This is known as minimalist inadequacy. You are inadequate because you could not stop all the terrorists. You stopped only part of terrorists, others you let in. So that is what? What's the problem? Minimalist inadequacy. You getting it? One is minimalist inadequacy and one is maximalist redundancy. Okay. Now, let's say, what is the object negation of emptiness of flower? If I say permanent flower, what's the problem? Maximal redundancy or minimalist inadequacy? Hey, louder. Raise your hand. Let me repeat it. You ask me, what is the object negation of the emptiness of the flower? I said, the permanence of the flower is the object negation of the flower. It falls on minimalist redundancy, minimalist inadequacy, or maximalist redundancy. Raise hands, raise hands, raise your hands. Okay, Gabor.
Geshe, it's minimalist inadequacy.
Minimalist inadequacy. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Speak. Ramela, Komendo. Minimalist inadequacy. How many agree with Gabor and Hamulay? Tuesha? Yes, you also agree. Very good. If you say that, what is the object negation of the emptiness of flower? The flower. Flower is object negation. The flower doesn't exist. Flower is the object negation of the emptiness. What's the problem? Maximalist redundancy. You getting it? Okay. So we should precisely identify the object negation, that you don't fall into the problem of maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. If you precisely identify that, then you have to reject it. Okay. Now, how to reject it? How to reject it? Let's say that you have identified object negation so well. Now you have to reject it. Say, I'll give you one example. What's the second point? Say the first point is done. First essential is done. What's the first essential? Valerie, what's the first essential? What is the first essential?
Первый ключевой момент – это правильно определить объект отрицания.
The first essential is to correctly identify the object of negation.
Very good. Thank you. We did it now. We did it. Okay. Now, you pick up something from your table, whatever you have on your table, pick that up and show that to me. Show that to me. Now, look at it yourself. Look at it yourself and see how it appears. How does that object appear to you, as objectively real or like a dream? How does it appear? Okay, how many for how many you this the object appears as your mind is projecting it? Raise hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these people to whom the object appears as your mind is projecting it, you came here to check on me, right? Because you already realize emptiness, right? It's coming from the mind, right? Okay, so raise hands, those who say that the object appears as object real. Raise hands. Okay, so the other people who see this as subject real, don't only check on me, also help these people who say it appears object real. You're getting, okay. Now when you see the object real, it is nothing to do with my mind. It is solidly there from the object. That is the meaning of the objective existence. You're getting it? It is solidly there from its own side, nothing to do with my mind. It's really there. That is the meaning of objective existence, and that is mistaken. How do we know that? What is the second essential? What is the second essential? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Nastya. What's the second essential? Nastya.
Необходимо постичь определенный охват и то, что объект постигается именно субъективно.
We need to realize some sort of pervasion, and we need to come to the conclusion that the object exists subjectively.
Okay, what is the second essential? Anyone raise hands? Anyone raise hands? Anyone raise hands? Okay, over there. Your name again?
Татьяна.
Татьяна, yes.
Ключевой момент понимания охвата – все, что пусто от присущего единства со своими частями или присущего отличия от них, лишено объективного существования и является пустотой существования объекта.
The second essential is our understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty of being one with its parts or different from its parts should be empty of objective existence.
Thank you. Okay, so the technical parts which I gave you, let us make it a point that we remember them, at least make sure that you noted them down, and then later on you remember them. So what we said is that, thank you Tatiana, what is that is that the essence of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty of being intrinsically one with and intrinsically different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, how many of you agree with me, in a sense? Very good, this is the second essential. Now, what does it mean by that? What does it mean by that? For to understand this, if I go through the word to word, we may find a little complicated to say what? To comprehend the complete thing. Better let me give an example. Okay, let me give an example. Let's say that somebody comes and tells me that you have taken my Rolex watch, and it is in your hand right now. You have taken my Rolex watch, it is in your hand right now. How many hands I have? Only 2 hands. You're getting it? Only 2 hands. So try to think of how I'm trying to explain this second essential. Emptiness of being one with and emptiness being different from, only two. So I have only 2 hands. Then what I do is that I open the first. So I said, no, I have not taken your Rolex watch. Yes, it is in your hand right now. It is in your hand right now. Momo, how many hands I have? 2 hands, right? Kim, how many hands? 2 hands. Okay, first I open the first hand. It is empty, right? Then it may be there. Then I open this. It's also empty. You're getting it? Or I can do the other way around. First, I open the left hand. It's empty. I open it may be then on the right, in the right hand. Open the right hand. Is empty. So, if it is not in my left hand as well as in the right hand, means it is not in my hand. You're getting it? These are the only two options. To say that it is in my hand, there are only two options. Either it should be in my right hand or it should be in my left hand. I can open this one first, this one second, or this one first, right hand second, and then you ruled out that the two possibilities for the Rolex watch to be in my hand, both the possibilities are ruled out. They're proven to be wrong. Then you conclude what? What do we conclude? Ilango. It is not there in my hands. It may be in my pocket. We never know. Right? But it's not in my hand. Right? Okay, it's not in my hand. This is proven. Likewise, if something exists objectively, there are only two ways. If something exists, something is in my hand, there are only two hands. If something exists objectively, there are only two ways. There are only two ways of existing objectively. What is that? Okay, what is my question? Hey, Sona Omale, what is my question? Okay, you see the help of Ajalamale. Ajalamale, tell me what's the question?
Geshe-la, so you asked the question that whether the Rolex is in your left hand or right hand, and then after that you said if something exists objectively, then there should be two ways.
Only two ways.
Only two ways.
Only two ways.
Only
Very
two
good.
ways.
Thank you. Okay. So there are only two ways. Before I answer this question, the question to you is that if the flower exists objectively, which of the two minds will you use? Ultimate analysis or conventional analysis to see the flower, whether or not the flower exists objectively? Which mind? Okay, so this group is split into two. Let's say, if the flower exists objectively, which of the two minds you're going to use to analyze, to investigate if the flower exists objectively? Ultimate analysis or conventional analysis? Raise your hands those who say conventional analysis. Raise those who say ultimate analysis. Very good. We have to use ultimate analysis to see. Ultimate analysis, job of the ultimate analysis is to see if something exists objectively or not. It doesn't analyze if the flower exists or not. It exists, whether it analyzes if the flower exists objectively or not. Whether the flower exists or not is decided by which mind? Hey, what happened? Whether the flower exists or not is decided by which of the two minds? Conventional analysis. Whether the flower exists objectively or not is decided by which mind? Ultimate analysis. You're getting it? Now, to see whether the flower exists objectively or not, objectively or not, which of the two minds are going to use? Ultimate analysis. Okay. What does it mean by using the ultimate analysis to see the object, to evaluate the object, whether it exists objectively or not? What is the difference between ultimate analysis and conventional analysis? Anyone? What is the difference between ultimate analysis and conventional analysis? Anyone? Okay, Lotus Lay, gold medalist. Here, gold medalist. Masters, gold medalist in Masters.
So the conventional analysis is the mind which sees the object from a distance is known as conventional analysis.
Ultimate analysis.
And the mind which sees the object by going closer towards the object is
what
the
is that
ultimate
mind?
analysis.
Ultimate analysis, conventional analysis.
Yeah.
But
Ultimate analysis.
closer is
Ultimate analysis.
ultimate analysis. Thank you so much. Okay. So what Dr. Dalai is saying is that what does it mean? The difference between the two minds is that one which keeps distance and look at, oh, there is Dipakji there, and there is Punarji there. Okay, there is Pamela there, or there's a wall there. These are all decided by the conventional analysis. Oh, the world does not exist objectively. Oh, world exists objectively. This is all decided by the ultimate analysis. So the ultimate analysis, what the Lotus is saying, is the mind which goes closer towards the object. You getting it? Okay. So convention, for example, say, okay, let's say, young and old. Young and old, right? Okay, how many? 25 below. 25 and below. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kim? No. 4. Only 4. Okay, 4. No. Okay. Lingo? No. Only 4. Okay, let's say ultimate analysis to see if they objectively are young. To see if they are objectively young. Let's say Armin. So, objectively young means which mind should we use? Look, he's not too happy. Now he will realize he's not too young. Okay, so you have to subject the ultimate analysis. What is my ultimate analysis? You go closer to the object, as Lotus said. Going closer to the object, Armin, we see that he's just made of lungs, heart, and the bones and so forth. And these are also made of cells. Cells are made of, let's say, atoms. It's just a pool of atoms. You agree? Going closer, we see that it's just a pool of atoms. And all his atoms and my atoms, they're same age. They're same age. Okay, first let me check. Allah, you agree? On the atomic level, the atoms which made him, made me same age? Okay. And the Rishi, you agree? Yes. David, you agree? David, you agree? Yes. Nastya, you agree? Nastya, you agree? Okay, agreed. So, on that atomic level, there's no atoms there which is younger than Dorji's atoms. How many agree with me? On the atomic level, atoms of Arman, there's no atom in Arman which is younger than Dorji's atoms. On that level, age difference become, what do you call it? Become meaningless. How many agree? Raise hands. But from distance, look at him who looks very, very young. Look at me. I cannot sit close to him. Sitting close to him, people see me as very old, so I should keep distance. You're getting it? So therefore, if you want to look young, don't stay with the young one. Stay with the older ones. Right? Okay, if you want to look young, come with me. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, so from distance, undeniably you are seeing something youthful there. Me, oldish there. You're getting this reality. But on the objective level, when you go there, this concept dissolves. How many agree with me? Okay, now, say, if the youth of Arman, if it does exist objectively, you have to subject this to ultimate analysis. Subject to ultimate analysis, we end up seeing the atoms. existence. Okay. Now, where is the objectively existent youth? Objectively existing young Arman? Well said. When you go there, there are only two options. Either in the eyes of ultimate analysis, you just found atoms, or other than the atoms, different from the atoms. Atoms are the parts of Arman, yes. Atoms are the parts of the Arman. Either the atoms of Arman, which are the parts of the Arman, or different from the atoms. Because you in the ultimate analysis, these are the only two things that you can see. Either the atoms or remove the atoms, and then you see what is there. These are the only two possibilities. If Arman does exist objectively as young, then it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. In the eyes of ultimate analysis, what you see is there's only these two possibilities. One is atoms of the Arman, and the different from the atoms of the Arman. Okay, how many you, to how many you, it makes some sense, raise hands. These are the only two possibilities if it does exist objectively. Now, you see that the Arman's atoms. This is Arman, this is young. No, this is, I'm 56. If 56 is old, his atoms are 15 billion years old, which is way older than how you see me. It's not young. Atoms are not young. So atoms are not the young Arman. And now if the atoms are not the young Arman in the ultimate analysis, remove the atoms. See if there's the objectively existing Arman existing as young. Remove the atoms. What happens? Nothing is left there as young. Nothing is left there as young. Okay, these are the only two possibilities to say that there's the objectively existing young Arman. How many of you agree with me? Raise hands. Good. Okay, Nastia, you have a question? Question, answer? Nastia, you want to say something? Yes.
Гешала, мы же не можем не доходить до уровня атомов, а, например, посмотреть клеточную ткань под микроскопом. И там мы убедимся, что клетки Армана действительно молодые.
Geshe-la, we don't need to go as deep as to the atoms of, can you hear me? Geshe-la, we don't need to go as deep as to the atoms of Arman. We can just go to the level of the cell tissues, cell membranes, and on that level, we can see that the cells of Arman, that Arman cells are quite young.
I agree. I'm also say young. Anesthesia cells also young, I know. I don't deny that. Say, ultimate analysis, right? Ultimate analysis means something which, as Luttrell already said it, what is the ultimate analysis? It's the analysis which go too close to the, T-O-O, too close to object. Which is closer? On the atoms or on the cells? On the atoms is closer, right? On the atoms is closer, right? Okay, so therefore, the same on the, okay, so this is one part. Part what the anesthesia, what she said is true to some extent, meaning that when we talk about the emptiness of the Arman, emptiness of you, not just Arman all the time, emptiness of you, it is not necessary that we have to go to the atoms. We don't have to go there. It says sometimes if you are so well trained in this study, reflection, meditation, you can just go on the level of the body and the mind. The body and the mind. That's good enough. You don't have to break down the body. You don't have to go. Just body and mind, that's good enough. My body is objectively not one with the self. My mind is objectively not one with the self. And besides, remove these two, there's no self left. just is good enough. You don't even have to go to the cells. Even that is not required. Whereas for us, it will be good if you go slowly. Don't go directly into the atoms. Directly into the atoms will not help. We have to go slowly. First, okay, say you. You say yourself, Ilengo, I'm Ilengo. Or let's say, I am Sayana. Right? I'm Sayana. Like this, you go, and then you say you go closer, closer, closer. First, you go to the thin skin. And you are looking for what? You are looking for the objectively existent Ilengo. Objectively existent I. You are looking for this. So when you go there, so whatever is not the objectively existent I, delete them. In other words, whatever is not the I, delete them. Ignore. You go, you first see thin layer of the skin. It's not, of course, this is not me. Sometimes we fall, and the whole skin can come out. But you are still there. The skin is separate. This is not you. Then inside the skin, you see the fatty tissues. That's also not me. Then inside you see the cartilages, the muscles. Also so not me. Then you see the whole skeleton. And the skeleton is very scary. Balera, yes? Skeleton is very scary. Skeleton, say, look at my mouth. It's nice, it's small. But skeleton is very scary, it's like this. Right? My Guru said, it's very scary. It is not, doesn't look like, Dorji. It's very scary. Like Valerie, it doesn't look like the nice Valerie. Right? All of us, it's not only Valerie, not only me. All of us, inside our skeleton, is like this. It's very scary, right? If that comes to you in the night, oh, right? Actually, it's there. Right now, it's there. Here. Okay, but this is not me. I'm nice. But this scary is it's not nice, right? Okay. Then they say the heart, the lungs, all the solid parts. They are not to be identified as intrinsically as the self, not one with the self. Then what? The water, element of water, and water. 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Element of fire, the body heat. 2,600 joules of energy. The body heat, of course, that is not me. From distance, Professor Dorji can see me. He cannot see my body heat. He cannot see that. So if the heat is me, he should not be seeing me, but he's seeing me. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. That's also not me, because the air comes out of my lungs, it gets into my lungs, but I don't go into my lungs, I don't come out of my lungs. Element of space, I'm made of 99.99% space, because my body is made of atoms, and the space between the nucleus and the electrons is so vast in comparison with the space occupied by the electrons and neutrons. So essentially we are like vacuum, but I'm not a vacuum. I'm not a vacuum. So therefore I'm not a space also, space element. And then what is left? My mind is left. I'm happy, I'm not happy, my mind. Even this mind is not me, because I am a male, I am a female, I am non-male, I am non-female. And gender is posited on the basis of the body, is not posited on the basis of the mind. But I have a gender. I am male, female, and so forth. But the mind does not have a gender. So therefore, the mind is not a self. And also that people can see me. People cannot see my mind. So therefore, this mind is not me. So now you see that all these, with the subjectness is self, to the ultimate analysis, we end up seeing these 6 elements, and earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. And we see that none of these six is this person. This was, if there is something there as Dorji, there, objectively, then the ultimate analysis should be able to see that. And what it sees is just the six elements. This is one possibility. If the six elements are not this Dorji, remove the six elements. It must be different from the six elements. Remove the six elements, what happens? Nothing is left there. So which means the Dorji which you see as objectively real, it is not objectively one with the six elements. No, that is different from these six elements. Remove the six elements, there is no different from the six elements as objectively as the Dorji. Nothing is found there. So what is the conclusion? If this is the case, both the possibilities are ruled out, which means that Dorji existing objectively is not true. The Dorji is empty of objective reality. If the watch that other person criticizes me or accuses me of having stolen, and which is in my hands, there are only two hands. First hand ruled out, is not there. Second hand is empty, not there. Concludes what? Ilengo concludes that what is not? Okay, watch is not in my hands. Likewise, objectively, there are only two possibilities for the person to exist objectively. What are the two possibilities? Either the paths should be objectively the person, or different from the paths should be the objectively the person. So paths, are they the person? No, that is ruled out. Removing the paths, is there the person left as different from the six elements? Nothing is left there. Both are ruled out, which means conclusion is there is no objectively existence person. Okay, how many you got? Minimum 40% and above. 40% and above, very happy. 50% above. 80% and above. 80% and above. Okay, never mind, I'm just joking. So as long as you got something that's very precious, you getting it? Okay, so from this, how many you agree with me that if the self does exist, if the person does exist objectively, that it should be seen by the ultimate analysis? Raise hands. I'm taking you step by step. If the person does exist objectively, it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. Raise hands. First step. Second step, if the person does exist objectively, there are only two ways for the person to exist objectively in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. Either the six elements should be seen as the self, or different from the six elements should be seen as the self. Raise hands. If you agree with this, you understood the second essential. That understanding the essential, what is that? Essential for understanding the pervasion. Pervasion meaning that if something is objectively, it should be. It pervades. It should be either intrinsically one with the paths or different from the paths. This means the pervasion. It entails. Or it means. It pervades meaning it means. It connotes. Okay. So, if you understood this, that if the self does exist objectively, then it should be seen by ultimate analysis in one of the two possibilities. One is, six elements should be the self, or different from six elements should be the self. If you understood this, you have understood the second essential. You got it? What is the third essential? What is the third essential? Essential for understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. You getting it? So now, you have to rule out both the possibilities. The first possibility is that the parts, six elements as the parts, is that identified as intrinsically meaning objectively. Objective meaning seen by the ultimate analysis. Seen by ultimate analysis, these six elements, are they seen as the self in the eyes of ultimate analysis? Six elements as self meaning one with the self? You said, no, it is not one with the self. It is not the self. These are not self. These are not one with the self. If you understood this, you understood the third essential. What is the third essential? Essential understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Intrinsically meaning objectively one with its parts. Okay. Next. Now, if the 6 elements are not identified as the self in the ultimate analysis, remove the 6 elements to see if it exists as different. Remove the 6 elements, what is left? Nothing is left there. So you see, do you discover that in the ultimate analysis, the self is not identified as different from the parts, different from the 6 elements. How many understand this? Raise hands. If you understand this, you understood the 4th essential. Essential understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from the parts. Okay, now the conclusion. Therefore, emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Oh yeah, how many are happy with this? Therefore, emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Therefore, Momo, therefore, emptiness, you wrote it already? Okay, therefore, emptiness of objectivity, therefore, emptiness of objectivity of the object, therefore, emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Therefore, emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Okay, how many? This is like a riddle, right? Raise hands. It's like a riddle. Raise hands. Okay, actually, it's not riddle, right? Okay. In fact, let me just share some of the short anecdote. And then we'll stop here for lunch. It was in Israel, 2019. There was a very important conference on consciousness, and it was convened by neuroscientists, a very senior, respected neuroscientist, and he brought many young neuroscientists with him, his colleagues, and also psychologists, and also physicists, and I was also there. So there were many very interesting discussions. And finally, it was my presentation, and I presented and then finally I just made the statement. Therefore, emptiness of what? Igor. Very good. Okay, the gentleman over there, your name? Gentleman over there, your name? Yes. Your name? Huh? Oh, Constantine. Constantine, can you repeat what we said?
No.
Oh, you cannot repeat it. Okay. It's quite riddle. Okay. Anyone else who wants to repeat? Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay. Raise hands. Okay. Svetlana.
Пустота объективного существования объекта является объективным существованием объекта.
Same. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Punya, what? Your name? Punarji. Punarji, tell me.
Emptiness. What? Therefore, emptiness, objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object.
Okay. Okay. Punarji really found it as like a riddle. Riddle? Was he has to look at it.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So what happened was that in the conference, I said this. I made a statement, and the host, who is a very renowned neuroscientist, extremely renowned neuroscientist, very senior neuroscientist, at the end of the conference, he was asking somebody, what was the last line he said? And then that person asked him, oh, he's right here, just ask him directly. So he brought him, and then I told him, and like a small child, he noted them down. He noted them, and he was reciting, therefore emptiness, objective existence, objective existence. Therefore emptiness, objective existence, objective. He was thrilled by this. He was thrilled, literally thrilled. You're getting it? And if you really feel the, wow, that's amazing. It's not just in words, in meaning. If you find the awe, if you feel that, wow, they're so precious, amazing, so profound, you are getting closer to this emptiness. And our negative karmas from the past lives, so much of negative karmas will be cleansed by this understanding. You're getting it? Okay, we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi. Okay, two precisions together.